Fifth grade students. This is Mr. Smith. I am going to discuss with you our new science unit that you are going to be experiencing during your remote learning time. We are going to have a unit called I Need My Space. Okay. Um, Obviously, we're going to be studying things in the solar system, the study of and the universe. Uh, the study of basically essentially everything in the universe is called astronomy. So all of you essentially are going to be astronomers for the next couple of weeks anyway. Um, I wanted to start out by reading a book to you about a particular astronomer. Okay. This book is titled The Planet Hunters, the story behind what happened to Pluto. All right. I'm going to read this, and then I want you to make sure that you do look for all the lessons and complete them day by day for this science unit. Okay. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at any time. Okay. So anyway, without further ado, the Planet Hunter. And I'll do my best to have you see the illustrations as well. So zing, splat, splash! Mike Brown learned in second grade how meteorites blasted craters on the moon. He ran home after school, made a goopy mud puddle, and winged some rocks sideways at it. He smashed a rock straight down and created a huge crater with spatters along the edges. When he was done, his backyard looked an awful lot like the moon. I suggest you might want to not do this at home. Mike grew up in Huntsville, Alabama, home of the Marshall Space Flight Center, where test rockets rumbled the ground. Everyone Mike knew was either a rocket engineer or an astronaut. So, Mike and his brother Andy built model rockets. Andy's flew fine, but Mike's engine sputtered and the fins fell off. Oh well, thought Mike, but his fascination with outer space lasted his whole life. To Mike, the night sky was like a friend. Whenever he stepped outside, he looked skyward. When he was in high school, he noticed two really bright stars. He watched all winter as the gleaming stars performed an intricate dance around each other. Then he learned they were not stars at all. They were planets, Jupiter and Saturn. And there are some facts on some of these pages that I'm going to read. Planet light, planet bright. Some of the stars that shine brightest in the night sky are not stars at all. They are planets. Planets don't make light like stars, but they reflect light from our star, the sun. The bigger and closer the planet, the brighter the light we see. Mike often gazed at his poster of the 9 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. He marveled at a planet even smaller than our moon. As he traced Pluto's orbit with his finger, he wondered, could there be more planets out there? When Mike got older and began studying astronomy, a friend discovered something new in our solar system, an object in an area that includes Pluto called the Kuiper Belt. "Oh, I bet there's more out there," Mike said. "I bet there's another planet." But how could he find a planet everyone else had missed? Mike remembered how as a kid he was always losing his sneakers. The only way he could be sure to find them was to start at one end of the house and search room by room. "That's the way to find a planet," he said. Using an old telescope, Mike began searching the sky, section by section. One day a fellow astronomer visited him at the observatory. "What are you looking for?" she asked. "I think there are other planets in our solar system, and I'm going to find them," Mike said. "Aw, come on," she said. "You don't really believe that." "I can't prove it yet, but I'll bet on it." So they did. Mike bet that someone would find a new planet, something bigger than Pluto, within 4 years. He really hoped it would be him. Another fact here: sleeping on the job. You'd think planet hunting would mean staying up all night staring into telescopes, right? Wrong. For his planet search, Mike programmed a digital camera on a robotic telescope to take 3 photos of the same part of the sky over 3 hours. Computers compare the 3 photos, searching for any bright object that moves. Why look for objects that move? From Earth, all the stars and galaxies seem to stand still. Objects in our solar system move. Mike's clever system could detect objects 10 billion miles away, and all the while he's sleeping. It's a gas, Mike says. In the morning, I get to see if I found any planets that night. Mike searched for 2 whole years and found nothing. Then one day, he detected something bright in the Kuiper Belt, out near Pluto. He named the icy object Quaoar. Everyone wanted to know, is Quaoar bigger than Pluto? Mike shook his head. Not quite, he said, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Fun facts about Quaoar. Discovered 2002. Claim to fame, at the time the biggest object discovered in the solar system since Pluto. Looks like Charon, Pluto's moon. Size, same as Charon, half the size of Pluto. Named for a creation force from the mythology of the San Gabrielino American Indians. Quaoar sings and dances gods into existence. Weird, weirder, and weirdest. It would take you 100,000 years to walk to Quaoar, 25 years by space shuttle. For some reason, I imagine I am mispronouncing that, but I try. Months went by. Every day, even on weekends, Mike scoured the sky. After another year, he found Sedna, far, far away in a part of the solar system where no one expected to find anything. Is Sedna bigger than Pluto? People asked. Almost, Mike replied. So, fun facts about Sedna. Discovered 2003, claim to fame, found lurking between the Kuiper Belt and the Oort cloud in a region of the solar system everyone thought was basically empty. It looks like Mars. Sedna is a deep red. Size 3/4 the size of Pluto. Named for an Inuit goddess who rules over the sea. Weird, weirder, and weirdest. Sedna's long oval orbit takes 12,000 Earth years to circle the Sun. Astronomers think that soon after our solar system was born, a star passed near enough to tug on Sedna, stretching out its orbit. Later, Mike discovered a weird object resembling a huge squashed football. He nicknamed this one Santa. Is this one bigger than Pluto? Everyone wondered. Mike shook his head. Definitely not. So, fun facts about Santa. Discovered 2004. Claim to fame, fastest revolving object in the solar system. Revolves end over end every 4 hours. It looks like a squashed football sprayed with a frosting of ice. Size as wide as Pluto and half as long. Named for that sweet white-bearded guy who wears a red coat and rides a sleigh. Santa's actually a nickname. Weird, weirder, and weirdest? How would you like to have a 4-hour day? Time to get up, eat breakfast, eat dinner, bedtime. Time was running out. Mike thought, this is it. I have 1 month left to find a real planet. Instead of taking vacation, Mike spent winter break reviewing all the old photos, searching for objects he had missed. New Year's Eve was Mike's last chance. He studied photos all day long. Nothing. He sighed and emailed his friend. I guess you won, he wrote. Instead of celebrating the new year, Mike went home and went to bed. But right after New Year's Day, Mike was back at it again. Just 5 days after losing the bet, Mike flipped through 3 photos he'd taken of the sky a few months earlier. He stopped and stared hard. There was a slow-moving object, very bright, that he hadn't noticed before. Can this be right? Mike pushed his glasses up on his nose and checked to make sure he hadn't made a mistake. How could it be so bright? His excitement grew. Bright means big. Mike grabbed the phone and dialed his wife. I think I found a real planet. Mike pointed as many telescopes as he could at the light gray rock, which he named Eris. Floating at the edge of the Kuiper Belt, the shiny ball was smooth and glowed white, like ice. Mike had to find out, was Eris so bright because its surface gleamed like snow? Or was it bright because it was big? Was Eris bigger than Pluto? Was Eris the 10th planet? Finally, photos from the Hubble Space Telescope confirmed it. Eris was bigger than Pluto. Fun facts about Eris, discovered January 5, 2005, claim to fame the largest orbiting object since the discovery of Neptune. If Pluto is a planet, so is Eris. Looks like a huge shiny ball, size bigger than Pluto, named for the Greek goddess who stirs up anger and discord. Weird, weirder, and weirdest. In 280 years, Eris will swing closer to the Sun, and its frozen atmosphere may melt, giving it a whole new look. Mike's discovery caused an uproar. Astronomers around the globe asked, what is a planet anyway? If tiny Eris and Pluto are planets, why not Sedna and Quaoar? Why not all the round orbiting objects recently discovered in our solar system? But to Mike, that wouldn't make sense. By the time his daughter, Leela, would be old enough to memorize the planets, there could be hundreds. What do my discoveries really mean? Mike asked himself. Perhaps astronomers were wrong to call Pluto a planet in the first place. After all, Pluto's so much smaller than the other planets, and it floats near Eris and Quaoar and a bunch of other objects just like it. Even scientists make mistakes, Mike thought. Here's another fact, roundup. What makes a space blob round? It helps to know how planets are formed. It all starts with a dense mass of material that pulls other rubble toward itself. When the whirling mass has enough gravity, it forms a pile. When the pile becomes big enough, at least 250 miles across, its gravity pulls all the material into a round shape. Now that's a roundup. Astronomers from around the globe gathered to decide once and for all what a planet really is. Mike held his breath. With a flash of yellow voting cards, it was settled. A planet is a body that circles the sun, it's large enough to be round, and it orbits alone, far from anything else its size. Hey, you, get off my orbit. In the solar system, big objects boss smaller objects around. The gravity of huge objects tugs smaller stuff towards itself. Some small objects crash in like meteorites. Some are pulled into a close orbit and become moons. Finally, gravity from several massive objects can bump other objects out of the way, even all the way out of the solar system. See you later, alligator. None of Mike's discoveries were considered planets. Not even Pluto was a planet anymore. Every single book, poster, and placemat picturing the solar system had to be changed. But Mike smiled. Astronomers had fixed a mistake. Science had progressed. And the planet hunter's search has just begun. Now Mike Brown is searching even farther into our solar system, out toward the Oort cloud, where Sedna soars. Once again, Mike wonders, is there more out there? Maybe a real planet, something bigger than Mercury or even Earth, floats all by itself. That would really shake up our solar system. No one expects it to be out there, Mike says. But it will be. I just know it. So here's an epilogue for you. Planet Search the Next Generation. Mike Brown has surveyed half of the sky, the amount visible from the northern hemisphere out to about 8 times past Pluto. His new survey will explore farther, out to 20 miles past Pluto. Not 20 miles, 20 times past Pluto. And someone somewhere will probably explore the sky from the southern hemisphere. But today's technology can't clearly see the Oort cloud or other rocky planets in other solar systems. That's work left for you, the next generation of planet hunters or astronomers. So I hope you enjoyed that book. I hope you learned a lot. The first time I read that book, I certainly did. Um, so I hope you learn a lot also through this entire unit. And if you learn anything that I don't happen to teach you, you see any cool videos or articles or facts, please feel to share them with me, and I might be able to share them with the class as well. So, all right, we will see you later.